Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Coriander and Killian, here we go. Tonight is the top 10 horror movies of the 2010s. So we're getting into everyday today movies. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
This is going to be interesting because these are movies obviously within the last, decade, and it was surprising how many picks I actually had, and of course, whittling them down to just 10. That was just an interesting thing. But let's see how this thing goes. Real quick before we start, let me just see who we have in the chat. Let's see. We got Patrick, who is saying this is going to be a great show. Thanks a lot, Patrick. We hope that it will be. We got Gorophobe saying, "Hey, yo, what's going on, Gore?
Hey.
How you doing, man?" We got Junebug is in the chat saying, I got to go with A Quiet Place Part 1 as my number one favorite because it gave the advice that Alfred Hitchcock and John Ford gave the filmmakers. Never forget that movies want silence." All right, I hear you. Red Rum Records in the chat. We got Beth saying, "What's up? What's going on?" How you doing, Beth? And Patrick saying, "Greetings to the 4 Nightwatch family," including Jerry in that. All right. Okay, man. Before we start proper, just give me a quick take on what the 2010s meant for you as far as movies are concerned, horror movies, that is, Coriander, and then I'll go to Killian.
Surprising a good amount of movies that came out in this decade. I was surprised at, the choices I had. It was a little more difficult than last decade.
Absolutely. How about you, Kill?
I guess the thing I'll say is the creators of horror in this decade, very surprising. You had comedians, you had dramatic actors making things, so it was just interesting, the sources of horror that was coming and the realities of certain horrors with new voices, horror dealing with stuff that could be racial or STDs that follow you and kill you and things of that nature. So yeah, it was just a really interesting new way of telling these stories.
Right. Absolutely. Real quick too, in the chat, we got Mr. Dan is in the chat. What's going on, Dan? Saying, "Hey everybody, looking for some Asian horror choices." All right.
Ringu.
And we got Debbie's in the chat saying, "Hey, it's Gorophobe. My wife had to work, so she wants me to do her top 10 tonight." Okay. All right. Nice. All right, guys. Okay. All right. Let's get down to brass tacks, man. So we're going to go round robin style as usual. We'll have Killian first and then Coriander and then me. So, Kill, let's start this thing off. What do you have for your number 10?
Okay, so just like I was saying, with people kind of having their own interpretations of horror nowadays, let's see what's really behind the veil. Like, where do these creatures come from? So for my number 10, I have Cabin in the Woods. And, I'll just be very brief with this. If you have not seen this movie is utterly amazing. It's a cabin in the woods. Creatures are there, but there's other machinations behind the scenes going on. There's comedy, an amazing cast, in this movie, and an ensemble cast. And it's just a fun, rewatchable movie. So if you have not seen Cabin in the Woods, I highly recommend it. Amazing movie.
All right. Okay. All right. And real quick in the chat, just to catch up to what these guys got going on here, we've got QN saying, "Hello, Nightwatch, back from Crystal Lake. Lost an arm, but I'm here." I like that. That was good. That was really. Patrick said, "Killian is gonna deliver big."
Hey.
All right. Debbie says number 10 is You're Next. All right.
Good choice.
And Patrick says, "Great pick," talking about your pick, Killian. Well, that's interesting, Patrick, because Coriander, what's your number 10 pick?
I have The Cabin in the Woods.
Hey, there you go. Great minds.
Right? And yeah, what can I say? This you said it too. I mean, the cheesy cliches they use and some of the deaths are great. It's a funny movie, and yeah,
Yes.
it's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it totally is. And okay, I'll just let the cat out of the bag because my number 10 pick as well is Cabin in the Woods. I
Nice.
mean, look,
we,
man,
we don't plan this,
this
guys.
yeah, this at the end of this, you got to remind me to say something. But it was interesting that we had this as all of our same pick. But yeah, this movie is amazing, man. I mean, the way that they set up this whole thing with the horror movie tropes and how they come to be, and the monsters, and having the monsters actually kind of in a certain place. This movie was just great. It had a lot of dark humor. I love these two guys. They were so hilarious. Every time they were on screen, they were just hilarious. If you have not seen Cabin in the Woods, you've got to see it. Try not to watch any trailers for it. Don't read up on it. Go in blind because it is really something that is really fresh. I got to admit, it's really, really fresh.
Yeah.
So that's my number 10 as well. All right.
Nice.
We're going to be moving to number 9, and let me just check the chat here. Let's see. Beth, she says the trifecta, right?
Right?
Absolutely. Okay. Let's see. Patrick, what cat is that? What? The Cabin in the Woods is awesome. It is. We have Trivia Theater in the chat. What's up, Trev? Saying, I want a mermaid standalone movie. Yeah, they were talking about that in the movie too. Absolutely. Cabin in the Woods is very cool. It is. It is. Patrick says, this tells you how strong this decade was. Yeah, or is, I should say. That was, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Kill, what do we have for your number 9?
Okay. All of these movies are great. I love them all. So this was a hard decade to do, man. But
Right.
for my next one, my number 9 is It, Chapter 1. And look, we're all big fans of Stephen King, of It, of the original version of It with Tim Curry. This version, I just feel these 4 child actors in this movie were amazing. And essentially, they were the glue that really just made this such a joy to watch. All the child actors in here. And in watching this movie, it really felt like a throwback to the 80s adventure movies that should have been rated R, that, mainly kids were the leads, but somehow they were like PG and, but for this to be a remake of It, I think they totally nailed it. At least on this version. The one with the adults had some pacing issues, but this one is amazing. If you have not seen it, definitely check out It Chapter 1. So that's my number 9.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Good one. Good one. And we also have Flamethrower in the chat saying, love Cabin in the Woods. The Pinhead ripoff looked pretty awesome. Yes.
Right?
I agree. Q1 saying, Last Shift is my number 10. Okay. All right.
Okay. Good one.
Debbie at number 9, The Woman. And Q1 at number 9, The Witch. All right. There you go.
Nice.
Now you're talking my language. All right. Coriander, what do we have for your number 9?
So I have You're Next.
Yeah, you
do.
And this was a great movie where this family comes under attack during it's like their anniversary getaway. But the goons get theirs once this, person who you would never think who could kick some major ass starts kicking ass. And yeah, great movie.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Great movie. All right. My number 9, and this was a movie that it kind of caught me off guard. And, on this channel, we've had the opportunity to talk about some remakes here and there. And, some remakes have been very, very good, and some remakes have been kind of middle of the road. This was one that I thought was amazing. I could not believe how good of a movie this was. And it was bloody and gory, just like the original. I'm going with Evil Dead.
Nice.
And look, all I know, that's all I know right there, man. This movie, this
Enough
movie
said.
was awesome. This movie was, what would you say, Coriander?
I said enough said.
Yes,
Mhm.
enough said, man. This movie had so much blood and gore, and it really lived up to the legacy of the original Evil Dead by Sam Raimi.
Mhm.
Great performances, great kills, great role for Jane Levy to be in. And if you have not seen it, it's a great film. It really, really is. You got to check it out. I'm telling you, it really blew me away. I saw it in theaters, and I was like, wow, this was awesome. One of the best remakes I've seen, man. Seriously, it's really, really good. All right, so let's head to number 8, and let me just catch up in the chat real quick here, Kill. Um, Qin says at number 8, we are still here. All right. Patrick saying Beth's father was the real scary creature, not Pennywise. Her father creeped everyone out at the theater. Right? Ain't
Yeah.
that the truth? Beth is agreeing with that. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Um, Patrick says, I liked the original just a bit more. Not sure it's top 10. I hear ya. Yeah, the original was obviously just a legendary movie, but I was really shocked by how good this remake was. So, all right, so Kill, what do we have at your number 8?
Okay. I absolutely love this movie. It's atmospheric. It's creepy. I own the score on vinyl. My number 8 is The Witch. And look, I'm not going to say too much about this movie, but if you love atmospheric, period piece, creepy horror, this is your movie. Great cast,
Mm-hmm.
great cinematography. I mean, everything about this movie is creepy. Like, there's no,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how, like some movies will let up the tension. There is no let up in this movie, and you will feel on edge
Mm-hmm.
every second. And at the end, it has an awesome kind of gut punch finale that is amazing. Definitely check this
Mm-hmm.
movie out. Anna Taylor-Joy, amazing. The Witch, number 8. Check it out.
All right. Beth says, I saw that Evil Dead remake in the theater and it completely scared me more than anything at the time. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. It was intense. It was very intense. We got Monty G in the chat saying, "Sup, everyone? What's going on,
Hey.
man?
Hey.
What's going on?" Debbie at number 8 has Southbound. All right, I like this. We're getting another list here. That's awesome. Monty saying, "Love the witch." Nuff said, "Yes,
Right?
yes."
That's all you have to say.
Right.
Black Phillip.
Patrick says, "Black Phillip rocks." And Monty Black Phillip rules. You guys. Flamethrower is saying the witch had the most messed game of peekaboo ever. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. It did.
We got the makeup duo in the chat saying hi. Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
Nice to have you in the
Hey.
chat. Welcome. Let us know what your top 10 picks are. All right. Okay, Coriander. So what do we have for your number 8?
So I have The Shallows. Yeah, Blake
Mm.
Lively
All right.
in this, and I love myself a good Great White, shark attack movie, and this was a great one. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely was. Wow. It was intense. I'm not going to lie. It
Yeah.
caught me off guard how
Right?
intense it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Cool. Okay. And for my number 8, and this was a movie that obviously is a fantastic movie. Just a cool example of this director's ability. And hopefully he will be doing a hell of a lot more afterwards because I don't think anyone expected him to be such a good director. And he was. And he also starred in the movie too. But my number 8 is A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
John Krasinski did a hell of a job. I mean, he was just fantastic as a director in this movie. Kudos to him. He was great in the movie. And obviously, the whole cast was great. You had Emily Blunt, his wife. She was amazing in the movie. But probably just as important, the child actors, too. I mean, they were very, very good in this movie. It was one of those movies that I found myself riveted by as I was watching it. I couldn't take my eyes off of anything because of the fact it was so quiet. You had to pay attention to everything that you could see, you know. But it was a great story, great movie, and that is my number 8. Okay, we're going to be heading to number 7, and before I do that, Kill, I'm just going to catch up to the chat here. These guys are working hard. Monty G saying those twins stole the movie. I hear you, man. Saying sharks are real. Enough said.
Yeah, they are.
Dan says not playing peekaboo with my granddaughter ever. Yeah, right?
Smart
yeah,
move.
man. Smart move, very much. Patrick saying, nice call, Coriander. The bird was real, not CGI. The Shallows is
Right?
worthy. Yeah,
Exactly.
there you go. Patrick saying, no. I think he's talking about A Quiet Place. That's what Monty's saying. Awesome, but I put A Quiet Place higher on my list. I hear you. And again, this was difficult. It was not easy at all. Beth saying, love that movie. The sound editing is spectacular. I agree. I really, really do. All right, Kill, what do you have for your number 7?
Well, I agree with the chat. I put A Quiet Place higher on my list, so let's put A Quiet Place up.
By 1. Come on, man.
I know. Hey, but that just goes to show how many great movies were in this decade. And once again, I'm not going to talk too long on this movie, but once again, a movie doing something different. Very different. I saw this movie in the theater. It was the quietest experience I've ever had in a movie theater in life. Okay.
Right?
Amazing movie, great cast, great directing, and they really make you care about this family dynamic because the chemistry was so awesome. So my number 7, A Quiet Place. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out.
Patrick saying, no. A Quiet Place would be Patrick's number 1. We have figured that out already.
I don't blame him.
It was good. Well, you know, I think that's one thing about these movies. I can honestly say probably at least 6 or 7 of these movies could easily shift around a hell of a lot. You could take number 7 and put it, maybe, for me anyways, my number 7 could maybe go as high as number 2, you know, so it is tricky. It is tricky. Okay, Coriander, what do we have for your number 7?
So I have Ready or Not.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. And yeah, all I have to say is this wedding night game is one that I definitely would not want to play. No.
They should have just played
movie.
peekaboo.
Awesome.
Right? And this girl kicks so much ass. I mean, good for her,
Yes,
honestly, because yeah, she rocked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she did. She really, really did.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, all right. And I'm going to catch up in the chat real quick here. Qin said, it creeped me out of my mind. It messed me up for real. All right. Debbie says, number 7, The Visit. All right.
Good one. That's a good
Nice. That's a good one. All right. Let's see. Patrick is saying, I like A Quiet Place, but definitely not top 10 for me. Oh, I thought you were saying we had it too low. Not top 10. All right. And Monty's giving his opinion. It would be on my top 5. A Quiet Place would be. I hear you, man. I hear you. All right. Okay, so for my number 7, this is a movie, and me and Caleb talked about this a lot, before, and me and Coriander had talked about it and stuff. And this is one of those movies that was just really, really cool, very different, atmospheric. I love the acting in it, and that really carried the film because the atmosphere was so dark and creepy. But I agree, it is worthy of this top 10. My number 7 is The Witch. And look, guys, you know, this movie, I'm telling you, man, when you watch this movie, it just goes in places that you didn't think it was going to go. It really, really did. The whole cast is phenomenal. Everything that they did was phenomenal. You really believe that these people were living in this time. I mean, seriously, it was just a hell of a job by them. Creepy movie. The ending was spectacular. And it was just a good story. It felt like one of those old, like it says on the tag of it, a folklore story, you know. And it's really, really awesome. Anya Taylor-Joy was amazing in it as the breakout lead, and yeah, it had to be on my list. So that is my number 7, The Witch. All right, we are moving, man. Okay, and before we get to number 6, Kill, I'm just gonna catch up in the chat. Monty says, "Did you guys hear that Samara Weaving is going to play Scarlet in the Snake Eyes movie?" Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, and the trailer looks amazing. It really, really did. And Patrick saying Black Phillip stole the movie, right?
Right?
Good old Black Phillip. All right, let me just move this over here. Yes, it did. All right. Okay, Kel, what do we got for your number 6?
Okay, more of that atmospheric horror, but this time we're going to do it in the daytime for the whole entire movie. My number 6 is Midsummer. And look,
Okay.
I mean, right there, just that poster. I absolutely love that poster because are those tears of happiness, sadness, joy? Who knows? We don't know. But this movie is awesome. Kids go abroad, check out a festival in a different country, and everything looks amazing and beautiful, and everyone's so nice, but yet there's something lurking under the surface. And this movie goes to some places. And once again, just like I was saying, this decade is all about doing stuff differently. How scary can this movie be if it's always sunny and beautiful? It can be pretty damn scary, and it is. So if for some reason Midsummer did not get on your radar, definitely check it out. Very atmospheric, very creepy, and it ramps up and gets terrifying. So yes, that's my number 6.
All right. Monty was saying, freaky ass movie. Enough said. Patrick says, an A24 films. Oh, hell no.
Right? Hey, that's the seal of approval right there. Wait, that's A24? No, I'm good.
Debbie says, number 6 is Split. All right. All right. Q saying, number 6, The Babysitter, Samara Weaving is amazing. Yes, that was a good one as well. Absolutely. Okay. All right, Coriander, what do you have for your number 6?
So I have Don't Breathe.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, your girl's in it again. And
Jane
I mean,
Levy.
this was, I couldn't believe this movie when I first saw it. I mean, it was incredible.
Right?
And yeah, these kids break into this guy's house who is like blind, and yeah, he like kicks everyone's ass, and they deserve it because they shouldn't have been doing it in the first place, but it's just incredible.
Stephen Lang.
Great movie. Yeah, great movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Your boy killed Stephen Lang, all buffed out.
Yeah, man.
It was a good movie. Very good movie. Real quick in the chat, Monty G is saying, can't wait for the sequel. Yeah, man. I'm really interested in the sequel because it's going to take a left turn, and I'm really interested in it. But Stephen Lang was so cool in that movie. I mean, he was a bad character, maybe misunderstood. We'll see. But no, I'm just joking. But he's a great actor, though. Patrick saying, nice. Stephen Lang is awesome, right? And Dan said the same thing. Stephen Lang for the win, right? You guys know what's up. Q saying, Don't Breathe is so good and so many twists. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. My number 6, this is a movie. This is another one of these movies, and this happened a lot in this decade that we're talking about, where I would watch a movie that I didn't know a lot about. Maybe I didn't see the trailer, or maybe either, Kill or someone else recommended it to me and said, just watch it. Don't check it out online or read anything about it, just watch it. And this is one of those types of movies. I watched it. It was just so good. It was like a throwback to the 80s. You could feel the Carpenter vibes in it. Great movie. My number 6 is It Follows. Man, this movie, it was so good and it was creepy as hell because in the movie, and I don't want to give away any spoilers, but the antagonist of the movie, you never know who it is until it's in person. I mean, it was just one of those movies that just came out of nowhere. It was just really, really good and creepy, atmospheric, well acted. The script was lean, and I really enjoyed this movie. And if you have not seen It Follows, I would definitely recommend it. It was very, very good.
Yeah.
All right. So that was number 6. Let me just catch up to the chat here. Let's see. I think you guys are. Oh, okay. Monty G was saying very creepy. Very creepy one night. It Follows. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Patrick saying night bingo should be top 2. And saying It Follows spooked me. Yeah, it was a creepy ass movie, man. The tone, the atmosphere was fantastic. Debbie saying, love It Follows. Yeah, it was that good. It really was. For anyone who has not seen it, you got to check it out. All right. So we are going to go to number 5. Okay, Kill, what do we got at your number 5?
Well, let's put It Follows back up because it cracked my number 5 spot.
All right.
I'm not going to talk too much about this, but this movie, there's no fat on the bone. Lean script, great plot, great execution, and just creepy as all hell. And once again, doing something different. This decade was amazing with these new ideas of horror. So
Yes.
It Follows is my number 5. If you have not seen it, please go check it out. Amazing movie.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Definitely. All right, Coriander, what do we have for your number 5?
It.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Killian said it. The child actors in this, they're so good. And yeah, I enjoyed the first half of the movie more than the second half, but it was really good.
Mhm.
Yeah. You mean you enjoyed chapter 1 more than chapter 2?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep, I got you. I hear you. Yeah, and a lot of people kind of feel the same way. Chapter 2 it fell apart in some spots, unfortunately. But yeah, chapter 1 was a great film. I definitely agree with you on that. All right. And real quick in the chat, just to catch up, see what you guys got going on. Q-Win says, I don't have sex for 2 years because of this movie. It wouldn't rise. Damn you, It Follows. That movie definitely gave you the chills, didn't it? It really did.
More than that.
Beth says, I'll admit, so many of these I have not seen yet. Yeah, Beth, I mean, definitely check out. There's a lot of these that are so good. Some good movies to catch up on, seriously. Really, really. Debbie, at number 5, Aqua Slash. I haven't seen that one. All right. Monty G saying, Pennywise rules. Yes.
Yeah.
Patrick saying, Sophia Lillis is gifted. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. All right, number 5. Look, when this movie was announced, I really did not know. If it could be good. I was really worried. This is a franchise that I've loved since I was a kid, and there's a lot of hesitation. I went to go see this in the theater, and Killian knows this because obviously we saw it together, and we both loved this film. It was so good. I've rewatched it. Obviously, since then, it's still an awesome, awesome movie, a great entry into the franchise, and I had to have it in my top 10. I'm going with Halloween 2018. And this movie was badass. I mean, who would have thought that they could have come up with a movie after all the messed up mythology in the Halloween franchise and come up with a movie that not only fixed the messed up mythology, but it made sense. It was great. Jamie Lee Curtis was badass in it. I mean, seriously, I absolutely love this film. It was so good. And obviously, I can't wait to see Halloween Kills. But had to have this in my top 10. And I just think it was fantastic. So, number 5 for me is Halloween 2018. All right.
Nice.
All right. We are going to go to number 4. All right. And real quick in the chat before we do that, Kill, and catch up to these guys. Dan says, I'm behind on this decade too. Yeah, it's so many good things. But I definitely, all these movies that we're talking about, I definitely co-sign on because there's some fun watches. They really are. Debbie saying, fun slasher. Okay, gotcha. QN says, number 5, The Final Girls. All right. Debbie saying, number 4, Terrifier. All right. And Patrick saying to Dan, skip Midsommar. Oh, you didn't like it, Patrick? It definitely did have a certain vibe to it. It was kind of controversial by a lot of people as far as whether they loved it or didn't. Beth says, best Myers we have seen in a very long time, and the score, pure fire. You know what's up, Beth. You know what's up. There you go. I agree. I absolutely agree. Monty says, Halloween Kills. Yes. We got Grande is in the chat. What's up, Rocky?
Hey.
Saying, hey, everybody. Hey. How you doing, man? Beth saying, I wish they would have come up with a more clever name. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Triple Features in the chat. What's up, man? Incident at a Ghost Land. Best show up on someone's list. I don't know if you just joined in. Maybe. We never know. All right. Okay. All right. I think I'm all caught. And by the way, guys, if you are in the chat, please give this video a like. That would be great. It would help support the channel. We'd appreciate it. And also a comment in the comment section if you could as well. Number 4, Kill. What do we got?
Okay, so for my number 4, I have Dr. Sleep. Yeah, and look, I if you know us on this channel, especially Knight, he loves this movie. I love this movie. They did the unspeakable. They did the impossible. They made a sequel to The Shining that unfortunately no one went and saw in theaters, which is so sad because it's so good. I mean, Ewan McGregor did an amazing job of portraying the adult Danny Torrance, and Rebecca Ferguson. I mean, the cast here was great. The cinematography, the score, the storyline, because this movie, it got Stephen King's seal of approval, and it is the best of both worlds. It does justice to the book, but it also follows the Stanley Kubrick original Shining movie very well and puts a bow tie on it. So if you are a fan of The Shining, give this movie a chance. I cannot say it strong enough. This movie is absolutely amazing. So Dr. Sleep is my number 4.
All right. We got Corey in the chat saying, hey, yo, what's going on, Corey? What's going on? Monty G says, Rose the Hat was awesome. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. Absolutely. And I just skipped one here. Wow, that really jumped. Holy moly. Beth says, I tried to like Dr. Sleep. I fell asleep watching it twice. Maybe I should give it a go again. Yeah, give it a go again. See what you think. It's definitely a movie that has a lot of story to it. But I enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
And no pun intended. No pun intended that he fell asleep on Dr. Sleep.
All right, Coriander, what do you have for your number 4?
Hereditary.
Yeah.
This movie, wow, what can I say about this friggin' movie? You had devil worshippers, witches, demons, this poor family went through like something that's like tragic and just crazy to even ever think that, yeah, this could happen to a family like this, but it sure did. And yeah, what can I say, man? Shocking.
Yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, it's just a shocking movie.
Yeah,
So there.
it is. Absolutely. All right. Okay. Let's see. Da, 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 da. All right. So for my number four, this was a movie, another movie that was, like you said, Kill, doing some things that are a little bit different, doing things with a little bit of a fresh take. Whether it's the way that the story's presented, the angle it's presented from, the methods, and so forth. I love this movie. Absolutely fantastic. Uh, we'll get a chance to talk about it again on this channel because we talked about it so long ago, like when we first started. But this is a great movie by Jordan Peele. My number four is Get Out. And
Mm.
man, this movie, it was just so good. It was so smart. The way that it was told, Daniel Kaluuya. I mean, seriously, just I'm almost speechless. Some of the things that it presented as horror was really fresh, and it's amazing because that's so difficult to do. But it was really well acted. The cast was great. You had so many great actors in this, and so much tension. I mean, that's the thing that got me almost as much as anything else. There were so many moments where this underlying tension that was just bubbling just a little bit, and then eventually it might start boiling, and then boom, it just goes over. But everyone in this movie did a hell of a job. It's a film that fortunately most people that checked it out really enjoy it, and I think it's a fantastic movie. Years from now, I think this will be a movie that people do revisit and have a lot of fun with. So that's my number four, is Get Out. All right,
Nice.
we're gonna go to number three, and I'll catch up in the chat. Let's see. Monty G saying, now this would be my number one. Charlie's clucking was creepy. Talking about
Yeah, it
Hereditary. Right? I hear you. Yes. Monty G saying, Get Out would be my number two. All right. I hear you. All right. QN says, number four, Hell House LLC. Enough said. I hear that. Patrick saying Key and Peele did a lot of horror on their sketch show. Yes, I loved their sketch show too. It was very good. Absolutely. All right, Kill. So what do we have for your number three?
Well, for my number three, I have Get Out. um,
Yeah, you do.
Not going to talk too much on this. An amazing first outing from Jordan Peele. You know, a comedian. You know, just letting people know that, hey man, comedians can do horror. And the thing about this movie, it was so interesting, is so much stuff that's just steeped in, you know, is he just kind of seeing things that aren't there as far as the way he's
Mhm.
being treated, or is there really some
Yes.
issues going on? The cast is amazing, and they have all of the best actors to portray these characters, and you're like, man, I love this actor, or I love her, and she's awesome. And then there's a turn, which is just utterly amazing. So my number three is Get
Yes.
Out. Great movie.
Absolutely. And that scene when he's talking to the mother was just, that was terrifying, the way Catherine Kinner played that scene as the mother. I was just like, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Very cool. Real quick in the chat too, Debbie at number three, Girl House. All right. Corey saying Girl House over Hell House any day. All right.
Mm.
You guys are too funny. All right, and let me just back up to our other page here. And again, guys, by the way, if you have not given us a like on the video, please do. That would definitely help us with supporting the channel. All right, so we're at number three, Coriander. What do you have for your number three?
The Witch.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. This was such a
Yes.
creepy ass movie. I mean, I like how it took
Right?
place in the 1630s in New England. You had, witchcraft, black magic, possession. Obviously, you had that wonderful, you know, Goat. What the hell's his name again? You guys
Black
know
Black
it.
Phillip.
Phillip.
Yeah, friggin' Black Phillip. Yeah. And let me tell you, when you finally do get to see the witch, I mean, that woman, she's creepy ass, man. Creeping around in
Mm-hmm.
that little shed that they had with those kids in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, creepy ass movie. And an ending you wouldn't expect, honestly.
Right?
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. You just don't expect it.
Hmm.
Nice. All right, let me back up here. So we are at number 3. Real quick in the chat. Let's see. We got Drake. Drake's in the chat saying, "Sorry I'm late, but some kind of hate at number 3." All right. All right. Gotcha, man. Thanks for dropping in. Corey says, "Y'all remember that Key and Peele skit with the creepy dying kid in the hospital?" Yeah. Corey, you're too funny, man. They've had some good ones, though. I did love watching Key and Peele. I really did.
Mhm.
Patrick says, Get Out wasn't a surprise to Peele fans. It seemed like a natural progression for him. Yeah, definitely. But, I think to me, and Kill, let me know what you think, because we talked a lot about this movie. I think there's a difference. I think the big surprise was the fact that it all worked out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of great artists who are actors or whatever, and then they go into being directors and they might actually even direct a film. But can that film get the distribution? And then if it does, can it be a hit? And if it is it a hit with audiences and critics? And, Jordan Peele was able to jump over each and every one of those obstacles. And to me, that was the surprise. It wasn't his talent or his ability to direct or anything like that, because he's always let it be known to fans that he was a huge horror buff. But the fact that he was actually able to do it, get it done, and it made such an impact for audiences and critics, that was the big surprise that was very, very wonderful to see. Patrick saying, number 3, A24 films. I don't know. I want to hear Jerry's top 10. Oh, Patrick. All right. So for my number 3, this is a movie. It's a fantastic movie. When I saw this movie, I was just like, I cannot believe they actually were able to do this, because you're merging so many things. And to even think about doing this movie, when I heard about them doing it, I was just like, how is this going to even work out? You've got an author that is totally against changing his mythology. And so what did the director do? He merged multiple things together and came out with something very good. To me, my number 3 is Dr. Sleep. And, again, you had to merge so much. You had to merge the book, Dr. Sleep. You had to merge the Shining book mythology and the Kubrick movie of The Shining. And somehow Mike Flanagan did it, man. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And I absolutely love this film. Seen it many times. And again, everybody in this was so good. Ewan McGregor as Danny Torrance, I think he was fantastic. And the story where his life went was very fascinating. I just absolutely enjoyed this. So yeah, Beth, again, check this thing out again, because, you may still not like it, but I absolutely love this film. It is so good. And it was a very nice surprise to see them actually make this thing work. So that's my number 3. Okay. And we are going to number 2. And real quick, Triple Feature says, I'm waiting for Mandy to hit someone's top 2. Hey, you never know. You never know. Corey saying same. Yeah, all right. We got Toronto Freddy in the chat. Mike Flanagan always does it. That's right. I agree with that. I really, really do. Let's see. True. Patrick saying it's not A24. It ain't making this list. Oh, Patrick. We don't just like A24. But Patrick, you like A24 movies too, or at least a couple, as far as what you told me. Corey says, has Color Out of Space shown up? Hey, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, gee.
It was a good movie. Grande says, number 10, Goodnight Mommy. Number 9, Raw. 8, Frozen. 7, The Battery. 6, The Lighthouse. 5, Insidious. 4, The Woman. 3, The Conjuring, 2, Cabin in the Woods, and number 1, It Follows. Oh, all right. And
Nice.
Drake has Terrifier at number 2. All right. And Debbie has at number 2, Creep. That was a good choice. Good one. All right, Kill. What do we got for your number 2?
So for my number 2, I have Hereditary.
All right.
So hey, I mean, creepy, atmospheric, great cast, great score, and just one of those movies where you can't turn away from this movie because you'll be looking at someone who's having a conversation, and then something or someone will be crawling on a roof or the ceiling, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, wait, what? And and this movie keeps you on your toes. It demands that you pay attention. You can't be surfing the net while watching this movie. And Toni Collette is amazing, as the lead in here. I mean, what more can I say? If you have not seen Hereditary, I don't even want to talk too much more about it because I don't want to give anything away. But this movie is definitely worth your time, and it's amazing. Definitely check it out.
Absolutely. I agree. All right, let me just move back over here for number 2. And in the chat, let's see. Dan says, Raw, yes, probably on my top 10. All right. Ben Grimm in the chat saying Hereditary would be my number 1.
Nice.
All right. All right. Debbie says, still need to see Raw. All right. Corey says, to Grande, props on Goodnight Mommy. Minor infraction for Insidious. Come on, man. Beth says, I've watched Hereditary once. That was enough. It scared the crap out of Yeah, man. Movie was rough. It was. Triple feature saying, some foreign horror that could be top 10 are The Wailing and The Queen of Black Magic. All right. Debbie says, Hereditary will change your life. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Toronto Freddy, the Elm Street remake is number 2, but not that number 2. Monty says, Insidious would be on my top 10. There you go. There you go. All right. So for number 2, what do we have for you, Coriander?
I have Halloween 2018.
All right.
Yeah. I thought this was such a good movie. I mean, you said it with all your points, Knight. And I mean, I thought Jamie Lee, she was like such a badass. Teaching her daughter how to defend herself at a young age was, to some people would probably thought like, wow, that's a terrible mother. But she was smart because look what happened. The boogeyman's real. So, yeah.
Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you on that. All right. Let me just catch up here into the chat. All right. And we've got Corey saying, glad I rewatched The Lodge. All right, man. Patrick said, changed my life. All right. Insomnia cure. Debbie saying, okay, Patrick. We got Biffer. Biffer's in the chat saying, my number 1 horror movie is Train to Busan. Yeah.
Good one.
There you go. That is a good one. Toronto Freddy saying, I think Halloween 2018 is overrated. Yeah. Hey, you got to admit, it was one of the best entries in a while in the franchise. At least I thought. Triple feature saying Killian is going to hit us with a Paranormal Activity film for his number 1.
No, not this time.
Corey says, Bedevil changed my life. Oh, man. We are what we are, anyone? From Dan. You never know. All right, let's see. And Drake is agreeing with Toronto Freddy, thinking that Halloween is overrated. Okay. All right. So for my number 2, again, this was a difficult list to put together, but all these movies were good. And there are, a lot of movies that could have been, somewhere in this list too. That was a difficult part of this decade. Like many people in the chat, and I know you said it too, Killian. There were so many good movies in the decade. It really was challenging. But my number 2 is a movie that freaked me the hell out when I watched it in the dark at work. And it was just one of those movies where my jaw dropped open, especially at a certain scene. I'm going with Hereditary. And
you are.
Look, man, anyone that saw the scene I'm talking about, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. My jaw dropped open. I couldn't believe it. I think the storytelling in this movie was very good. And no matter what anybody says about this movie, because it is a controversial movie, I want someone to tell me that Toni Collette did not act her ass off in this movie, because she totally did. Seriously, and that's in any genre. I've rarely seen an actor or actress go that far, as far as just the energy, the emotion, the spectrum of emotion. I mean, she went all over the place in this movie, and a couple of scenes where it actually it does creep you out. So I had to have this on my list, and it was a movie that I've told people about, and it's just such a great movie in my opinion. So that is my number 2, Hereditary. Okay, so we're heading to number 1. And before we do that, Kill, just to catch up into the chat, let's see. Monty G says, I know what you're talking about, Knight. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Triple feature. The Conjuring about to blow up on everyone's list. Corey says, Grande over here shaking his head. Oh, man. Toronto Freddy. I don't think they'll have that as a plot twist in Halloween Kills. Oh, man. Patrick saying, Catherine Walker, game over. She was awesome in A Dark Song, Patrick. I loved her performance in A Dark Song. But I would say Toni Collette had even a bigger range of emotion, because Toni Collette was a regular, happy, everyday mother in the beginning of the movie. And by the end of the movie, well, stuff happens. So I think Toni Collette gave as good of a performance, if not better. But that's not to take away anything from Catherine Walker. Biffer says, after watching Hereditary, I will never make mouth-clicking noises. Yeah. Drake says, Hell House LLC at number 1. QN says, Toni Collette killed it in The Sixth Sense. Yeah, she was great in The Sixth Sense as well. She's a great actress. She really, really is. Debbie at number 1 has American Mary. Oh, wow. All right. Patrick saying, interesting pick. Yes. All right. So let's just get this out of the way. Kill, what do we have as your number 1 pick of the decade?
Okay. Look, there's no lying here. Okay. My number 1, if you know me or if you know this channel, I mean, look, come on. My number 1 is The Conjuring, because that is the only answer I can come up with. Like when we did this list, that was the first thing I wrote. Number 1 is The Conjuring and number 2 is Hereditary. This movie is magic. It's amazing. And I love ghost stories. I love bottleneck films. I mean, the chemistry with Vera Farmiga and Patrick
Wilson.
Yes, Wilson. Thank you. Is amazing. Say what you want about the Conjuring universe as a whole, with all the entries, the Nun, the Annabelles. The Conjuring movies, in my opinion, are always on point, and this one was amazing. And just like Monty G is saying, The Conjuring rules. Enough said. I'm done. Coriander, it's all you now.
What do you got, Coriander?
I picked the same movie.
Yeah, you did.
Let's just make this easy. I picked The Conjuring as well. The Conjuring is number 1. Go ahead, Coriander. Say what you need to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great haunted house movie. I mean, not too many movies creep me out, and this movie creeped me out. So I give it props for that, man.
Yes.
Stop playing hide and seek.
Right? I mean, seriously, man, this movie had everything you'd want in a horror movie. And it was cool because I mean, you had the ghost story, you had the paranormal thing, you had the possession thing, you had the exorcism thing, you even had Annabelle in the beginning of it just for a few minutes. But the best part of this movie, all joking aside, seriously, the best thing about this movie is the excellent direction by James Wan and the amazing, fantastic chemistry between Patrick and Vera. That that trumps so many things that anyone could throw at me, just in my own opinion. It's a fantastic movie. The family was very good. You had Lily Taylor, who was amazing as the mother. You know, she's a favorite of ours, Kill. She was fantastic. Just such a great movie. It really was. When I saw this in the theater, it really blew my mind. And I'm going to say this. When I saw this movie, it kind of made me think, wow, horror is really, back, being respected again, not only by the critics and the audience, but by the director and everyone involved, and that's not to, put shade on other movies that might be lesser than, or maybe even cheesy or whatever. But I'm just saying, you could tell that James Wan really put a lot of care and craft in this movie, and it shows. It really, really does. So this had to be number one. When I did this list, I knew this would be number one. So, and this is the first time we did a list where we had the same number one and the same number 10. So,
right?
So,
wow, yeah.
Grande says, love The Conjuring. Great number one pick. Yeah, you do. Thanks, man. Ben Grimm saying, great pick. Ben's also saying, I really like the investigation aspect. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. D Best in the chat saying, ooh, Hereditary, good one. Welcome to the chat. Thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. And Monty G saying, see, it does rule. It is a great one. Patrick saying, Paranormal Activity, number 1A. Paranormal Activity had its moments. It did. Triple Feature saying, I can't argue with Conjuring at number 1. There you go. There you go. And Debbie saying, thanks. All right. Let's see. Did I miss anybody here? Drake was also saying, American Mary, fantastic, has my number one favorite actress in the new generation, Catherine Isabel. I hear you, man. I hear you. All right. Cool. Looks like we got everyone all set. And Beth saying, I don't have a list, but some of my faves from this decade. Mandy, Bone Tomahawk, that was amazing. Gerald's Game, that was amazing. It Chapter 1, 1922. Unsane, that was a good one too. Halloween 2018, to name a few. Great picks, Beth. Great picks. And like I said, check out some of these that you haven't heard. I think you'll be happy. I'm sure you'll be happy with at least a couple of them, if not all of them. Patrick also saying Bone Tomahawk is good. It is. It is. And again, guys, as we start to finish up here, please make sure to give us a like on the video. That would really help out the video. And also, if you could just take a second or even a couple seconds after we're done, or even now, to give us a comment in the comment section, letting us know what your picks are, or maybe your number one, or what you think of our picks and so forth. That also would complete helping us with this video, the support. QN saying number one, Among the Living. Okay, all right. Grande saying, have any of you guys seen Darling from 2015? It's grown on me for sure. No, I haven't seen that. All right. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Debbie saying, thanks you guys. Agoraphobe saying, Deb really wanted me to do this for her since she couldn't be here. Oh, that's cool. And definitely send her our best. We're really touched that she'd want to even throw out her picks, even though she couldn't be here. That's really awesome. We appreciate that. And we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We definitely appreciate the support, and we definitely need it. So thank you so much. Monty saying, excellent list, guys. Thank you. Thank you. And Dan also saying, thanks for some good recommendations to everyone. Yeah, all right. And we got the Wolfman's in the chat saying, hey, Nightwatch, hope you're doing well. We're hanging in there, brother. We're about done with this list, and we're hanging in there. We had a good time, though. We definitely had a good time. Hope you're doing well, too. Beth says, will you do a worst of the decade list? It's funny because I think we threw that around for an idea, That could be fun. I tell you what, Beth, you guys let us know in the comment section if that would be something you'd be interested in, and we could definitely think about doing that. We talked about maybe doing it, but we got so many things planned. But if enough people want to see it, it's possible. Beffer says we need the Vatican's approval to do a simple run-of-the-mill exorcism to stop YouTube just for Nightwatch fair use. Thanks, Biffer. We appreciate that, man. We really do. All right. And Wolfman saying, I will definitely watch the replay. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it. We really do. Mr. D Best saying, The Conjuring being number 1 makes sense. Crazy movie. Gives me the chills even now. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it does. Thank you so much. It's a great movie. Monty saying, yes, do a worst list because I love rants. And Patrick saying, I would like the worst of the decade. Okay. All right. We'll take that into consideration. That's awesome, guys. Well, anyways, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Please give the video a like, leave us a comment. You guys know the drill. It would help out. It truly would support us so much. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Nightwatch. Peace out, guys.
Peace.